Hello, and welcome back to I do stuff with code. Yep, that's today's introduction. Okay, so last time I was playing with the filler, and I made some decent progress with that, turning these debug asserts into compile time problems instead of runtime problems. And since then, I've recorded a video about setting up WinDBG, or I guess not setting up, but just debugging a Rust project with WinDBG. And that should also be going up at the same time as this video will be. So that's kind of cool, I guess. I'm not really sure if it's going to be useful to anyone, really. I guess it's mostly for people who also end up in this situation where it's like, well, I don't really want to spend money on C-Line. I also don't really want to switch IDEs or like run a separate IDE. And I'm kind of like stuck on this tool chain because if I switch tool chains, it just causes like a bunch of build errors and stuff. So yeah, it's kind of like it's sort of the easy way out, I guess. But anyhow, that's kind of beside the point. Today we want to get rid of this guy, because, well, we want to get rid of all these runtime asserts. So this one is about items and locations. Also, I think I was trying to do some generalization or something. Right, I was trying to make stuff more polymorphic. That's still on the table, I just don't really know if I'm going to do that today. That's my first priority is to get rid of these like runtime panics and the debug assert. Those are the glaring issues. Making things more polymorphic comes second, I think. At least that's how I prioritize things in my mind. That might not be like the optimal way to treat these things, but yeah, unless I'm told otherwise, like that. As far as I know, this is a perfectly fine practice. Of course, someone will always come up and say, oh, that's bad and wrong, you shouldn't do it that way, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, we're just trying to get rid of this right now. So that's what I'm going to focus on. Alright, so first things first, we're going to need to pass in some kind of struct here instead of these two things. So we're going to use a product of, I guess, these two items and locations. I wonder if there's a way to generalize and say like, well, these two things implement len, so because they implement len, I can do whatever. I can check their length, and then if it's not the same, cry about it or whatever. So, I guess what I want to look up first right now is if iterators in Rust will... Hey, wait a minute, what's that? Exact size iterator. Oh, huh, that's kind of interesting. Well then. I did not know this. This is not exact size. We don't know the actual length at like compile time of this iterator, but that is interesting to know. I didn't know about that. I guess there's something to be said about like knowing core principles that can be like transferred between languages and knowing your language, like the one that you use, really well. It's important to do both, but it can be really hard to just, you know, have a good grasp of everything all at once. But, well, we can try. We certainly can try. Huh, so it's a try for each. That's super weird. Does this return result? R. R is a try. Oh no, it returns a try. Right. Try's a monad, isn't it? That, yeah, it's the one that only takes one type argument, because I forget what the other... Yeah, I forget what it does in the else case, or like the error case. But they have that in Scala as well. Does it like return a error? Or I don't know. I thought it threw an exception. So I guess maybe it's not really a monad in Scala. Actually, it might be. I'm just making things up because I don't remember. Count? Is that what I want? Well, it has to be an iterator, though. It can't just be like a vector. A vector is a concrete type. What does vector, yeah, what does vector implement? I should look that up. Vec rust. So yeah, looking at iterator was probably not the smartest thing to do. From dref. Okay, so this is coming from dref. Huh. I didn't know that was actually from the dref trait. Let me see that. I guess I can look at the source. Is this in an impl? This is pretty long. Right, because they have to write documentation for all this, because this is what goes into the documentation we were just looking at. It's auto-generated. No, this is just impl vec. Okay, that's weird. I was expecting it to actually show up as like impl dref for vec, and then it would, and len would be there. Because this is methods from dref. Huh. Well, I am kind of confused. Well, it does implement dref though, so maybe? Let's try looking at dref, I guess. It doesn't hurt. Alright, and that just has dref. Yeah, I don't know. This doesn't say anything about len. So I'm a little bit confused by what that means. Methods from dref. I don't know if I can really generalize over this easily. I'm trying to think of a way, but I'm not sure. I feel like there probably is, and I just don't know like the Rust way of expressing it. But to me, this is something that you would like probably use HKTs for. So you'd like take a container and another container, and then do something with the two containers, like take the length of each. Although you'd also have to make sure that it implements whatever trait it is that provides the length operation, so I guess not. Maybe length just isn't a trait. Could I like make it into a trait and then like implement it for these two types and then call that? That would probably work. I think that would actually be doable. I'm not really sure if that's like recommended. But it would be a way of, I guess, abstracting over this. So I could have a container that only takes things that implement len. Yeah, that's kind of tempting. That's really tempting. Well, it'd have to be concrete containers, since I would have to actually supply the labeled item in the lock ID explicitly. But it would be better than nothing, I guess. Huh. Yeah, it's giving me ideas. I guess we could try it, just for lulz. Because I don't really know if it... Yeah. Oh wait, we do have a struct for this. It's called progression filler result. Except that's a result that comes from... Oh wait, no, hang on. Oh wait, yeah, I'm taking stuff out of here and then I'm putting it in here. Oh, okay. Well, in that case... maybe we don't need to do that. Maybe we could just move this into there and then take the stuff out of it and then we're okay. Yeah, because right here I'm moving the... Well, am I... Why is this mute? Oh, because I wanted to use it here to append stuff? Okay, yeah, okay, I see what's going on here, I think. Right, because progression filler result... Okay, yeah, that's exactly the kind of issue that we want to address. Progression filler result is a result of doing the progression filler. But that isn't what should go into fast filler, despite the matching signature. Because yeah, it takes a vector of filled locations and linked hash set, but that's not what we want. We want to take the other items and the remaining locations. Where's the other items come from? Oh, from here. Okay. From shuffled.get. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I think that's exactly what I'm going to have to do here as well. Just pass in some kind of struct instead. Okay. Well, that shouldn't be too hard, I think. I guess we can call this the fast filler args or something? I don't know. Where do I want to put this? I think I'm going to put it up here. Well, do I? I don't know. Does it really matter? I guess not. Now, how did I do it with the shuffler? Shuffler uses pub mod shuffled. Yeah, it had to be a pub mod, and then I had to pub use it in the same scope as the outer thing, so... Yeah, I'm just going to copy the same pattern. Do the same thing here. I guess this could qualify as like a design pattern. The smart constructor design pattern. I don't know. I mean, if other people are doing it and it's kind of an agreed upon thing that people do, then what's stopping it from, you know, being described as a design pattern? Fast filler args, I guess. Oh, I don't really know what else to call it. I want to also keep the same snake casing name scheme. Alright, so we want to do a pub struct Let's just call it fast filler args. And yeah, we're gonna just give it this. Maybe we don't want to name the arguments. Honestly, I don't really understand why tuple structs don't allow you to name the arguments. I guess because it'd just be like having a regular struct. But usually regular structs you like to like stack them vertically instead of horizontally like this. I don't know. I guess it is just a formatting thing, but it's always kind of confused me. Tuple structs are an interesting feature. And I'm not entirely sure when they are actually like better than structs, like regular old structs. I guess. Oh, is it slightly more convenient to construct them? Yeah, I would say so. Because then you don't have to explicitly name things unless you use the same name for your variable that you pass in to the constructor as the argument. In which case, then it's just as convenient. So, I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of hard to say. Also, I wanted to just look at the shuffler to see what I did here. I also used a tuple struct there. Okay. I'm getting hung up on all sorts of random details today. That's how you become less productive. Oh, I don't have linked hash set in there. Of course. This also does mean I have to move a lot of my imports in there. Also, it sucks to try and import stuff in here. Is import the right word? I don't know. Oh, I guess this will have to be a location block ID. Then we want to use labeled item from there as well. Oh, well, I should have done this instead. I'm not sure about representing labeled item as a sum type anymore. Part of me feels like it doesn't really belong as a sum type. Mostly because if I want users to be able to create their own items and stuff, then they can't. But for the sake of Mini-rando and my own sanity, I'm not going to do it. Like I could, but I won't. Also, what are you complaining about? Why are you stopping? Okay, well, now it says it's okay. So we'll do that. Right, pub struct. Tuple structs always require the semicolon for some reason. But structs, regular structs, don't. If I remember correctly. Do I have any good examples of that? Yeah, regular structs don't. That's another difference. Yeah, I wonder why that is. Seems kind of inconsistent. It's also kind of nitpicky, but oh well. Stupid creaky chair. Let's see. So this is going to be a smart constructor. It's not going to be a regular one. It's going to be an option self. And we have a requirement that... What are you complaining about now? Wrong number of type parameter. Expected 1, found 0. But I did give it 1, didn't I? Self. Isn't that what I did here? Or am I going crazy? Yeah, I did option self. Okay, yeah, it's just catching up. Yeah, Rust compiles at times are a little bit on the slow side, but it has to do all that lifetime resolution, so it's understandable. But I can also see why some people would be very upset about that and not want to use Rust. Just depends on what you value more. And it's obviously entirely subjective. There's no right way of thinking about this. There's only ways that you prefer to other ways. And I think that, yeah, I just need to basically do the same thing here as I did there. Okay, so we'll take the same arguments as this function is taking. We haven't entered type Tetris territory yet, because we haven't really made things generic, but I'm not really sure how I would do that. Yeah, we're just gonna follow the same pattern. If items.len is equal to locations.len, then we have a fiesta. No, we return a sum, and we, I guess, construct a fast filler args with items, and what was the other thing? I can't see it behind that floating bubble. Locations. Otherwise, return none. Seems simple enough to me. And eventually it should stop complaining about this. Expected option found. Yeah. Well, I'm definitely not returning unit. So there we go. And I guess we just want to move these values? I don't really see why not. If we consume them, it doesn't really matter what we do with them. And we're not mutating them here, but we don't need to require the constraint that they don't be mutable. Is that even a correct sentence, like grammatically? or words just spilling out of my mouth in the wrong order because race conditions. The race condition between my brain and my mouth, and my ability to actually articulate my thoughts. I'm gonna delete this. I think that's safe. We're gonna take one of these boys. Well, I'm gonna implement the get first. Yeah, so we just need a getter like that. We'll return a tuple of type this. I guess I could, at the very least, make this like an A and a B instead of just doing this vec label item, like hash set block ID. No, I can't do that because of this constraint. Okay, yeah, no, that's fine, I guess. We don't really have much choice there. And yeah, we're just gonna return self.0 and self.1. That should do it. Honestly, kind of boilerplatey, I guess, but these are the tools we have to work with, so we're gonna work with them. I guess I have to use this module somewhere, right? So we'll do like a pub use self fast filler args. I think that makes sense. Is that what I did here? Oh, I did a self shuffled. Oh yeah, so roughly the same thing. Fast filler args. I mean, I don't have to reach in there and take that type out, but that's what makes sense to me. Because I could always just tag it with this instead. Anywho, now that we've done that, we should now get the vector label item and the linked hash set when we get on this thing. You know, in a way, it's almost like an unwrap. Is it? I don't know. My brain is not thinking anymore. Fast filler will instead take one of these. Fast filler args. Yeah, call args. Let items and locations be equal to args.get. There we go. That's all we need to do. Now we've replaced that. This is going to return the usual thing, but this is going to be a compile time error. So now we need to ensure that we handle a case where these things are not the same length. And the way that we will do that is... right, we need to first construct a... Alright, so now this is a little bit trickier. I could return an option of filled locations. That is one option. The consequence of that is that this map will not work so well. Because then I'll have an option wrapping another option. And I guess I could just call like the inner map, but... Can you have like a monad transformer with like you're like between two of the same type of monad? Is that a thing? I'm not really sure I like that idea. Monad transformers are generally kind of frowned upon because they kind of make your code slow. You're adding all these extra layers and stuff, and yeah, it adds overhead. I'm not sure I want to do that. It would definitely ensure that I definitely handle that case, though. I mean, I don't think this is the wrong choice. I'm just not sure about the design that I have here. Oh, I could do the nested map, I think. If we're doing nested maps, well, wait, hang on. I'm trying to think. Maybe I can do a flat map instead. Yeah, maybe here's a place where we should start doing flat maps, because this also returns an option, right? Shuffle world returns an option. This returns an option. We can use a monad comprehension here. Okay, here's a good place to exercise my monad comprehension brain. And by monad comprehension, I obviously mean we don't have monad comprehensions in Rust, but we do have this question mark syntax. And that works. That's, well, I think I want to say it's like isomorphic to the monadic do notation, except it does give you a little bit of extra power, so I guess it's not really like a perfect mapping. Yeah, I wouldn't say they're exactly equivalent, but you can translate between the two. Well, that's not necessarily true, because you can't translate from monadic do into question mark, into every single type of question mark situation. Does that make sense? Am I making any sense? Maybe I'm not making any sense. Yeah, let's just drop that. Let's not talk about things that we're not qualified to talk about. Sometimes I feel like that's literally everything, but you know, details. Yes, we're going to return an option of a vector. That sounds like a great idea, and also a good way to make yourself sad. Fast filler args equals fast filler args, and I'll give it other items and remaining locks like that. So there we go. I mean, monadic do notation is only one of the cool aspects of monads. That's not like the sole purpose to want monads in your language. Like an actual monad abstraction, I mean. You can fake a lot of the stuff that you do with monads. The way that like C# has done it with tasks and stuff, and the way that Rust has done it too with async await and futures, and option, whatnot. And this question mark notation, like fake all the things. Yeah, but I'm not sure about things like tagless final. I'm not sure there's an easy way to express that in Rust at all without HKTs. Yeah, so instead of doing this map, now we can do the flat map here, and then do this instead. So, oh god, I have to put on my monadic do thinking cap and then translate it into Rust, because I'm not that good at thinking in this way. Let shuffled equal all this stuff, put a question mark at the end. Also, friendly reminder, monadic do notation isn't always the best thing to reach for. It's not always the nicest way. It's not always the nicest solution for handling situations like this. Sometimes just plain old flat maps are what you need, and it's more concise, more readable. Just entirely depends on the situation. This might be one of those. It really could be. Alright, so we're gonna give you shuffled, and you're gonna return an option. And I think that's all I need to do. Yeah, I just need to return an option. Right, and you are one of these. I'm going to create a fast filler args, but actually I can't do that. I have to use new because that's a private constructor. I didn't make it public, did I? Let's make sure I didn't make that public. No, I didn't. It's just a pub struct. The type is public, but the arguments are not, and that's what's important. The arguments are not. Really? That's private? Oh, it is, isn't it? Cool. Good thing it caught me there. See? Actually, no, that's not a good example of what this is preventing, but it is an example of a compiler error. Did you want to look at compiler errors? I've got plenty of them. It's really interesting to see how some people are like absolutely against compiler errors, and some people just absolutely love having like compiler errors. And I fall on that side of the fence. I love compiler errors. Because they prevent me from writing code that will do stupid things at runtime when people use it, and not just me. And this is an option because I'm dumb. And I forgot to do the map. Oh, is this... so I have to move filled locations into here, don't I? Because I'm going to be doing some mutable stuffs. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna do an if let fast filler args. 'Cause I'm gonna be I am going to be doing maybe I'll just do that. I don't really know. Okay, how about call this option fast filler args, and then this one's option fast filler args, and that way I don't get confused and I don't have to use silly crappy names like this. It's a little bit verbose, I understand, but that's what I'm gonna go with. I don't want to do map because then I have to introduce a closure, and if I do a closure then I have to like move this guy into the closure, and then I have to make it like a move closure. I don't know. It's a big mess. I don't want to touch it. I've decided. So I roll. If I do that, it should return the right thing. So now it will return an option, none. And now we can bundle this none up in with this none. By doing this monadic do mock thing. What are you complaining about? Do I still need to put a... Oh, I think I need to... Okay, I think... Yeah, I still need to end that line with a semicolon, don't I? Right, because... Huh. Is that right? I'm not going to question it. I'm going to accept that that's probably right. So this will return an option. So that's good. This will early return if this is none. Which is the same thing as what monadic do would do. I'm starting to wonder if it'd be better to just make it error instead of... Or like a result instead of option. I've chosen option though. You'll see, I guess we'll see how bad this is. What I'm worried about is that you might get bad input here, and like the fast filler arguments might not be the same length, and then it'll just return none, and then we're going to handle the error case and we won't know exactly what failed, if it's this that failed or if it's this that failed. Either way though, I feel like, well, no, that's not true, because if this has an algorithmic error in it, then yeah, of course this will fail. So that does make me a little bit worried. I think the right approach here might actually be to use result here instead of option. Option might not be the best thing to use here, or at least a try. It's not the easiest choice I have to make here. At the very least, I've encapsulated all this stuff as a compile time error that I have to handle at compile time. So no more debug asserts. I am handling this case. I'm just handling it with none. So if it does happen to fail, I'm just gonna have to handle that wherever. And we'll know at least that it's just coming from here, but really does make you worry though. Alright, well, I'm pretty happy with that change. The next change I want to make is to get rid of these panics. And yeah, here I wanted to have 2 different error messages. So we're going to have to do something similar here. We're going to have to probably actually return like a result. Not just a progression filler result, we're going to have to return like a result. So maybe this name wasn't very good because it sort of conflicts with the existing namespace of, you know, result. We already have an element in that namespace called result, and having something called progression filler result kind of makes you think that it's one of those kinds of error types. But it's not. It's definitely not. Yeah, we do have some mutation happening in here, so we do want to be careful about that. I'm not really sure what to do about these ref keywords. I know there's a way to get rid of these, supposedly, but I don't know the way. It's not something I figured out. I should look up what ref does. That's a good idea. Ref keyword Rust. Ref is used in pattern matching. So it's used... Oh, it's used for pattern matching. Does that mean I could replace that entirely? Huh. So, in the current version of Rust, am I allowed to just replace that? I'm not sure I'm going to do that just yet. I want to run this test and make sure that I haven't, like, broken anything. Also, funny story, I had a bit of a build break with Travis, and I was like, oh, good thing I'm using Travis CI. I wouldn't have caught that. And then it turned out that the only reason for the build break was I didn't update my travis.yaml to use the newest version of the Rust compiler. Also, this technically is ahead of the version of Rust I'm on right now, but it's only by, like, this tiny minor version thing. I don't know what you call this in semantic versioning. What is this? The minor version? Is this the major version? I don't know, but it's the 3rd decimal place thing. It's not a 0, it's a 1. It doesn't change. It doesn't change anything as far as I know. What? I'm using parentheses around if conditions because I'm used to it in other languages? God. I find it kind of funny. Oh, that's like that's a thing. That's the thing I get tripped up on the most out of, I think, all the little quirks of Rust. I know it's supposed to be like Python with braces, but you know, I'm just so not used to that when I have a curly brace coming right afterwards. Like if it was a colon, sure. If it was actually like Python with the colon, then I would probably remember not to. But since it's Rust, and it looks like this, but wants to be like Python, I'm just like, I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to have parentheses there. Or at least my subconscious does that, and then I realize later, oh, no, that's bad. Makes me wonder what would happen if I turned on Clippy. Is it Clippy? Yeah, there's Clippy the linter. I haven't turned that on because I don't think it works on stable, and that kind of sucks. I think you need to be on like nightly to use it. Okay, yeah, so I've seen everything here is okay. We're gonna try removing these refs and replacing them with just ampersands and see what happens. I'm genuinely curious, because supposedly I should be able to just do that. Nope, I can't move out of borrowed content. Is that a Rust 2018 thing? Or like... When did we get rid of ref? Omit needless ref. Omitting it. Oh. But it did eventually get removed, didn't it? Oh, it did get removed. I know it got removed at some point, didn't it? Man. Well, wait, if this is just pattern matching on a reference and this is just dereferencing it, can I not just do this? Oops. Wow. Excuse me? Okay, yeah. I thought I was seeing another star there after I typed the closing brace, and I was like, wait, what? Is that not the same thing? Tell me that's the same thing, please. I swear to God, that has to be the same thing, right? Yeah, it is. It is the same thing. Alright, I'm not going crazy. That is correct. Yeah, so I should be able to remove that here as well. If I just dereference is accessible first. I don't need to do any fancy magic with ref. I don't need to use the ref keyword that everybody seems to hate so much because it is pointless, and that seems to be the case. I can dereference things. Yay. I bet that's oh, cannot be dereferenced. Still seems to be required here, at the very least. Oh, unless I do this. Can I do that? In this case, I think it might actually be a pattern. I don't know. That one's hard to say. Mismatch types. Wait, what if I just remove this? What's it gonna complain about? I'm curious. Cannot move out of bold content. It's still telling me to use ref here. I'm not sure what I can do about this, actually. How do I, how would you pattern match on this without the ref keyword? Alright, well, I removed one usage of ref. I don't know how to remove this usage of ref. This one's a little bit more tricky. Because this is like within this structure. I understand what the error is saying. It's saying I cannot move is accessible out of the borrowed content location. But what if I did this and said that, hey, this is a reference? No, it's still gonna try and move it, I guess. Alright. So if I want to make sure this doesn't get moved, I guess I'm kind of stuck. Or I could annotate the type, I guess. That could work. Will that work? I actually don't know about that. I'm trying to think. No, that wouldn't work. Yeah, this is a little bit weird. Hey, look. Shoutouts to Type Tetris. Usually in Haskell they consider type tetrising okay though, because the signature should guide you to the right implementation. This ain't Haskell, I understand. Has this ever been fixed? I swear it supposedly was. Yeah, where y is a reference to 0. That's what I would think would make sense. Y is a reference. So then I should be able to just go whoop and it'll work. We moved ref keyword rust. I swear they said they got rid of this somewhere. I know they did. That is peculiar. Because I'm not allowed to use is accessible here. Unless I guess explicitly say that is accessible is a reference. Not really sure how that makes ergonomics better. If I have to do it that. Like, why can't I find anything about this though? I swear I've seen people say that this can be removed and they removed it. Man, this is really bothering me. Maybe Reddit will give me an answer. That was 3 years ago though. Shoot. Okay, what about this? Do they have anything about the ref keyword here? I mean, if this isn't a thing, if I'm just going crazy and there isn't anything about removing the ref keyword, then like, okay, maybe there isn't. I think I'm losing it. I swear I saw something that said that they removed like like you didn't need the ref keyword at all anymore, and in fact they like removed it. It was like deprecated and everything. Like, I really thought that's what I read somewhere. Am I going crazy? I must be going crazy. I have to be going crazy. There's no way I'm not going crazy. I don't see anything about it. Everywhere I look, I don't see anything. Yep, I'm losing it. I am losing it. Alright, cool. Doesn't exist. Okay, let's just pretend that we still need ref. Or maybe we don't have to pretend. Maybe we do actually still need ref. Maybe that is the case. Anyway, this thing. This. If option item is none, return this error. Otherwise, do that error. I realized that, yeah, we have two things here that returned options. I could have done like I could have done ye old monadic do here. Since if one of them fails, well, then the entire thing fails. Technically. So yeah, we can clean this up a little bit. It's not going to be like a massive cleanup at all, but I do feel that it is worthwhile. So I have option item, option location. What I could have done is I could have just did a question mark here to early return that. Then I could have done another question mark here to early return this. And then instead of having options, we would just, yeah. Here I'm handling these errors up front by panicking. It's not really a good idea. I'm not really sure if I want to return an option of a progression failure result though. I could do that. I don't see why not. And then I can chain it right into this one. Yeah, great. I mean, it would work. Let's just go with that for now. Arguably, this is going to lump all of our errors into one ugly mess, though. So, I'm not... you know what? I don't really know about that. I don't really think that's the right way to approach this. At all. I think I actually should be using error, or like result here. Result makes more sense. Not option. Because we're trying to say that, hey, something failed. Yeah, okay. Let's use that. What is a labeled item anyway? I forgot what a labeled item is. Is it just struct? Oh no, it's an enum. Okay, so yeah, labeled items are... I think they're all going to be the same size. Yeah, okay. So I guess that's fine. I was worried about, like, you know, the data-orientedness of that, but since it's all just like one argument struct, I think it's fine. It shouldn't really make a difference whether it's like an SOA or AOS. Location I'd be more worried about, but whatever. Micro-optimization, in my opinion. Yeah, so you're going to be an option instead, which means... wait, I want to return a sum of this in this position, and because we're doing side effects, I want to return none for all the rest of this. Yeah, instead of doing option location, we'll just use location directly. And instead of option item, we'll use item directly. We'll just use question marks here to propagate the errors. And then I can change them into results later when I want to actually handle them properly. Do it the right way. I say later as if, you know, I'm going to actually do that. Item and location, and we'll just, instead of chosen location, should be, I think, location. Actually, let me undo what I just deleted. Chosen location comes from option location, yeah. So I should be able to safely remove that and that. And replace this block. Like so. And just do that. Good. That's already a bit cleaner, I think. So now we can't represent any invalid states coming in here. And when we return, it's going to be a sum. Yeah, if any of these are none, then something bad has happened. That's what that says. So this returns an option, which means that this returns an option. Which also happens to work here, because I can just question mark that. Ooh, look at that. Look at that! Look how fancy that was! I could easily just replace this with results instead, and it would all pretty much work the same. So that, yeah, that was actually relatively painless. I thought that was actually going to be a lot more painful than it was. I did do a lot of rambling, so it took a lot longer than it probably could have. But that was actually relatively painless. I'm kind of pleasantly surprised. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. That's good progress today. Before I conclude it there, I'm going to run this to make sure I haven't screwed anything up. Like my algorithm didn't break because I made those changes. Yeah, it seems fine. One test pass. Cool. Very happy with that. So, is there anything else I'm going to say here? I guess I could have refactored some of this code out, like broken this out into its own function or something, but I think I am fairly pleased with how everything is, as it currently is, with the filler. The filler is looking pretty good. It's not the most data-oriented implementation, I admit. I didn't really leverage the ECS here at all, but I figure that it's okay for this part of the code because randomization is something that's just going to happen once before we even get into the actual game itself. Like, this is just going to be called once on start, so it'll just be like part of the loading time. Really, to me it's not a big deal. So yeah, I'm very happy with how this turned out. Oh, I missed one. I missed one case that I completely almost forgot about. It was... well, it wasn't here. Where was it? I will have to clean up play, though. Play is definitely something that has to be cleaned up. There are some parts of this that will be a bit more messy, but... where was it? It was in... Now I can't find it. Where was it? No, was it in... Shoot, I can't remember. Seed? It wasn't seed, wasn't it? Yeah, here it is. I should return a result here instead. Totally. I should totally do something about this. This debug assert is not good. Part of me is considering just changing it all to do the sum none thing I was originally thinking about, actually. It wouldn't be that time consuming. I could return a none in this case. It would make this a total function. That's good if we make this a total function. And yeah. We would account for the failure case here, I think. Then generate seed. Because we want to be able to generate a seed no matter what, pretty much. If this thing fails, we'll just use something dumb and random, I think. Like, A. I don't think that's unreasonable. Or we could use like a dummy seed instead. That's what a lot of people do. They have like a default seed. Or we could just make this a total function and then not have to worry about this at all. But no, usually it's better to defer implementations of things. I wanted to return a result here, but at the same time, I feel like I want to handle the error right here anyway. I don't want to expose this as an error to like the user, because I don't really see much value in doing so. Could be wrong. That might not actually be the best idea in the world. Now I think about it. But it would be like a fundamental error with like the actual seed generation, which would be really dumb. Return a result here instead. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to return a result here. Instead, I think I'm going to do an option. I'm feeling like options these days for some reason. I'm going to do an option char. And I'm gonna match this, yeah. And if it falls outside of that range, I want to give it, I don't know. Wait, isn't this already a total function? If I'm just returning a, in that case, because that would fall under. Wait, yeah. What was my original debug assert here? If num is less than or equal to 35. Yeah, what's the point of that? I mean, I'm already handling that case. That's silly. I don't know what I was thinking. I guess I could rewatch the footage to find out what I was thinking, but I don't agree with it. I think that's kind of dumb. I don't really want to wrap all of these in sum. That just seems kind of gross. But I do want to make sure that this is an option for sure. I want to make an option. This I could wrap the entire thing in a sum. That would be one option. And I could just make this like unimplemented. It would be kind of weird, but I could do it that way. So that's an alternate way of doing this. Or I could just bite the bullet and wrap everything in sum and return a none in that case. I mean, is that so bad that I have to type this out a whole bunch of times? Kind of, actually. Yeah, actually. Yeah. I don't want to spend time typing that over and over again. Here's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna return an empty string, an empty character, or how about a dummy character like well, what am I gonna choose? Yeah, what am I gonna choose though for that? Can I even return an empty character? Empty character literal. Oh, that's the thing. You can return an empty character literal. Yeah, I'll let that be that. Then I'll return if wait a minute, what am I doing? I'm being silly. This is not the right way to approach this problem at all. I literally was just doing this for like the last like hour, and I didn't even think about what I should actually be doing here. Instead of taking a U8, I should be taking a U8 that is in this range. Like, that is guaranteed to be in that range. Then I don't have to do this, like, silly pattern match thing. Then... yeah. I think that makes sense, right? Then we return a char. And that char is used where? To create a string. Oh. Well, that has to be a char. That's just... yeah, that just is. It just is. But this thing doesn't have to be a... this could be an option of a string. And I think I do want it to be an option of a string. Because I want to handle that here. Let me give it like a dummy seed. Okay. Or let's call it bad seed equals static. Wait. How's this gonna work? Also, I should probably encode the constraint that seeds have to be of size 10. The seed should never be any other size. I didn't think about that. That's another constraint I didn't encode in here. Yeah, that's kind of bad. Bad programming all over the place. Well, I am informed now, and I know better than to just allow this kind of stuff, so... okay, we're gonna actually just leave it here for today. I think I'm gonna stop. We're gonna fix this up tomorrow, I guess, and... yeah, well... after that, I think we'll go back to the prefab stuff. I think we're almost there. So, as soon as I've eliminated all these, invalid, or potential invalid states that can be, like, passed around. I don't want, anyone to be able to construct like a seed ID that is a string that is of the wrong length. I don't want anyone to be able to construct an int seed that is of, like, well, actually I don't really know what the limits are on int seed. I haven't thought about that. But I'm sure there are limits on that, and I should try to... well, is there? I know it's a hash. I know it's a hash. That's that. Yeah. Okay. Maybe there's no limitations on int seed, but definitely seed ID. This is not just a string. This has a certain length to it. Using bad seed here would be, well, it would be bad. It'd also be a really bad seed, because it's not even the right length. Because that's 7, so, well, yeah, there we go, now it's 10. Now it's 10 characters. Bad seed, ah. Yep. We'll pick this up, next time.